Ready for the video?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Where do you find this?
Grocery stores, I think Indian grocery.
I've never been to an Indian grocery store. Check that out. I hate eggplant.
Oh, well, okay, well, this would...
You know, you gotta live life, so you're gonna like, okay, bag of chips, like, you know.
Trying it.
Part two.
Part two. The video.
You never do it right the first time.
That's true.
Use some butterfly pea powder.
Present practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
Ellie.
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
This superfood can enhance your intellect.
I'm an aspiring yogi and I've been meditating for over 4 years now and love all things meditation, yoga, and wisdom based. And I'm super grateful to have Ellie with me here today. Want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Ellie from Battleground, Washington.
Thank you so much for being here. And I'm curious, what does your diet look like? Do you have any path that you follow, or what does that look like?
Plant-based.
Vegan?
Animal rights.
Okay, animal rights.
But I think to be true vegan, that means like don't use a car, like that kind of stuff. So I like to think of animal activists and plant-based.
Well, thanks for being here. I'm sure we'll get some interesting perspectives from your side. And with that,
let's get into the video.
Among the pranic substances, there are a few vegetables which are very highly pranic. It will bring you enormous amount of energy. At the same time, it keeps your nerves very calm. All these things are relevant only for
do you know what
those
pranic
people
is?
who
No.
are constantly
I'll tell you
striving
after the video.
how to better their life, how to perform little better, how to open up another dimension of life. In the yogic culture, we classify foods into three categories: positive pranic food, negative pranic food, and zero pranic food. Positive prana means it adds a certain pranic energy to the system when you consume. Negative prana takes away energy from the system. Zero neither adds nor takes away, it's eaten for taste and lethargy. So, if you eat positive pranic food, energy will reverberate in a dynamic way. Particularly, some of the things were very positive are the ash god.
Ash
The
card.
ash god is
that
very
is?
highly positive. I think these days you're only hanging it in front of your house or breaking at three corners of the road and giving it to the buffalo, but you are not eating it. No, this is to be eaten. Because the vegetable has such high pranic energy, you put it in front of your home so that there is nice energy. But if there is so much energy to it, isn't it good to put it into you? It's good to put it into you, especially if you consume… There are many experiments on this.
I would agree.
If you consume a glass of ash god juice every day, the number of cancerous cells in your body will dramatically come down. And you will see clearly the sharpness of your intellect will enhance itself. Especially children must drink ash god juice. Daily consumption of ash god, you will see distinctly your mind seems to be clearer and sharper. This will be noticeable within a few weeks of consumption of ash god. You will see, morning you drink coffee, it gives you energy with agitation. You drink a glass of ash god juice, it gives you enormous amount of energy. At the same time, it keeps you very calm. One should consume it as much as you can. But those of you who are asthmatic, who are susceptible to colds and coughs, such people, if you consume ash god juice, you may immediately have colds because it cools the system. So if such a problem is there, such people should always add a little bit of honey or pepper to ash god juice and consume it. This will neutralize the cooling effect of the ash god to some extent. When we were eating for survival, we ate whatever we could lay our hands on. Now that we have choices, we have to choose what's best for the body. If we don't choose like this, then we will somehow live and go. All these things are relevant only for those people who are constantly striving how to better their life, how to perform little better, how to open up another dimension of life. If these concerns are there, then what kind of food or fuel you put into this machine is very, very important.
Where do you find this?
Grocery stores, I think Indian grocery stores definitely have it, but I'll have to look up the exact English name.
I've never been to an Indian grocery store. I'm gonna check that out.
I mean, this does seem good for you. Pretty simple. That looks good. Could use some right now.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts, Ellie, after watching this, Ashgar juice video? It seems like it's a yogic superfood, as Sadhguru says. First off, you said you didn't know what that is, right?
I didn't. Can you tell me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, so I could be wrong, but I'm thinking, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, would love to hear what you all think about what Ashgar is, or what's another similar way of understanding that in the comments down below. So Ashgar, to the, again, relative knowledge that I have, is, I think it's white pumpkin, slash white squash, slash white something in that category of vegetables. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, pretty much I guess that's what it is, and it has great properties. I did actually try it relatively not too long ago, and I don't think I did it right. I mean, at least it didn't seem as thin as the video.
You never do it right the first time.
That's true, that's true. But nevertheless, tried it, and I think I did feel that clarity of mind. I don't know if it was a placebo effect or if it was actually the Ashgar juice, but something to try out. Is that something you would want to try someday soon?
Absolutely.
Ashgar juice. We'll make that, maybe make another video on that of us trying it.
Part two.
Part two. And yeah, I'm curious, Ellie, with regards to this whole pranic and positive, negative, neutral. Did you understand what he was saying about that stuff, or what were your takeaways from that?
I think that isn't like the only thing that has benefits, obviously, as he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think that whatever we put into our bodies, we should be mindful of, and we should know, like, hey, this is a little bit way too overprocessed, but like sometimes, you gotta live life, so you're gonna like, okay, a bag of chips, like, depending on who you are. But I think that being very mindful about what you put in your body is highly, highly important for energy and for like good health and that stuff.
Absolutely. No, those are great points that you've shared, and definitely being conscious, as well as I think what's interesting is that the yogic sciences, so these are like the sciences of the inner body, the inner sciences, and it was more experientially scientific, so it's not like, studies or experiments being done. And so there is this whole yogic science, as he calls it, the pranic positive, pranic negative, pranic neutral. And so what's so cool about that is that apparently even vegetables, certain vegetables, including eggplant, I think, which I used to love, eggplant parmesan, which is one of my favorite Italian dishes, used to be at least. Have you tried that?
I hate eggplant.
Oh, well, okay. This would definitely fall in line with you then, because eggplant is supposedly negative pranic. And so the key here is that just because something is a vegetable, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for you, right? Although again, it might have certain properties like, good minerals and vitamins. At least from the energy perspective of the yogic sciences, it's important to realize that not everything is beneficial. Did you know that?
I didn't. Thank you for sharing.
Of course, yeah. I'm still learning with you as well. And he actually does say, so it is interesting too, right? So he comes from the standpoint of not even morality per se, but he comes from the standpoint of like what is optimal for your body. It's as simple as that, right? And essentially what you'll notice is that the simpler the food is, for example, fruits are the simplest, right, compared to a meat, the easier it's on your system to absorb, right? There's not much taxation. And so the point of that is that fruits and vegetables should be your best friend, mainly because, forget the morality, and not to say that it's a bad thing to consider, but purely just from the standpoint of what is good for your health, the simpler the food, the better. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I like completely agree, because just like kind of how I view it is like empty calories, or like, you know, and it could also mean in the sense in like fruit and veggies, you know, because I know that like, so for instance, like turmeric, it has anti-inflammatories, but other vegetables like have very high acid amounts and stuff that can give you like sores. So I think that there's like a little bit of like negative attached to like anything, especially like if you're on a strict like diet or something, that, you know, there's always gonna be something that makes you flare up a little bit. So
Absolutely, and I appreciate the way you also mentioned the earlier question, which was when you were asked if you're vegan or not. Not that being vegan is a bad thing, but I think sometimes being overly attached to something might not also be the best way to go, and using labels. Because, for example, beer and chips are vegan. Doesn't mean that it's healthy, right? Would you agree with that kind of statement?
yeah, that's why I like to say like more plant-based, because I view it more as like I like to eat, you know, things made out of plants, but I also love being an animal activist. But to be a full-on vegan, I don't want to like offend anybody that does take it to that extent. So that's just me.
Balance is going to be the key here, and we'd love to hear what you all think about this yogic superfood, which is ashgar juice. If you've tried it before, what your perspectives are in the comments down below. Now, I want to take this time to appreciate you, Ellie, for being here and sharing this great insight. And where can they find you again?
On Instagram at Ellie Rain with 2 E's.
And also, if you have any other video reaction requests or other personality types that you want to see on the show, you can also comment down below. And with that, make a great day, take it joyful, and stay conscious. Awesome job, Ellie.
Thank you.
You did great.
You too.
Awesome.